Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, and night 1 of the 2023 WWE Draft is over. So I wanted to give a quick recap of everything that happened, and of course move my figures around accordingly. But first, make sure to tell me what you thought of night 1 of the draft in the comments down below. Now things started out with Triple H announcing round 1. So we'll set him right here on the side of the couch. And of course, as you would expect, with the number 1 overall pick, Smackdown chooses your undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and yes, that is how he is still being addressed by Triple H, Roman Reigns, along with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman. But crucially not the Usos, who will be competing later on, but aren't eligible to be drafted until Monday night. Next, also somewhat predictably, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes is drafted to Raw for their first pick. Then I guess it was time to keep things equal by choosing a couple of women. Strangely, SmackDown chose the current Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. On commentary, Michael Cole did say that she is still the Raw Champion, but she cut a promo later in the night where she said that she was gonna walk into SmackDown as the champion on day 1. So we'll have to see if that means she's gonna win the belt off Rhea Ripley, or if they're gonna do one of these stupid belt exchanges. And then to close out round 1, Raw chose the man Becky Lynch. As Raw continued on, the Usos came out to say that they're gonna win the tag titles tonight, and they were confronted by KO and Sami Zayn. That's gonna be your main event. Next up, we had our first match of the night as Butch from the Brawling Brutes took on LA Knight, and unfortunately LA Knight won. I say unfortunately because I love Butch, and he'll always be Pete Dunne in my eyes. But I guess this does advance LA Knight's recent push. We got a brief segment with Paul Heyman hyping up the Usos backstage. Next up was round 2 of the draft, hosted by a returning Rob Van Dam and Michael P.S. Hayes. Now, I definitely used to have an RVD figure, but I can't seem to find it, so we're just gonna put Triple H back for now. And then we're gonna come down here and go over the results. First up, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford are going to SmackDown. So maybe I'll have to find some versions of them in blue gear now. And of course it's nice to see Montez Ford and Bianca Belair getting to stay together on the same show. Raw had the next pick and they got Matt Riddle. Later on they also picked up Drew McIntyre, so might as well grab him while we're here. And then SmackDown's other pick for the second round was the Rated R superstar Edge. Back to the in-ring action as the Street Profits were in a 3-way tag team match next against Braun Strowman and Ricochet, who I think is buried down here underneath Corbin in the red shirt. Don't know if you can see him there. And the third team of the LWOs, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, who are right down there with their awesome face paint. The Street Profits ended up winning that match, and then we were on to round 3 of the draft, this time hosted by JBL and Teddy Long. And no, unfortunately, he did not announce a tag team match nor a singles match with The Undertaker. However, they did give us the next couple of picks. For SmackDown, it was Bobby Lashley, followed by The Miz for Raw. Raw also got Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style. But the big news in this round was the return of an injured AJ Styles, so we'll pull him out of the local medical facility drawer, as he gets drafted to SmackDown, not by himself though, but with his entire OC group. This includes Gallows and Anderson, who I don't have figures for, and also Mia Yim, who is now apparently still a part of the OC and will be on the SmackDown roster. Back to the ring where Zelina Vega takes on Sonya Deville in singles action. Vega manages to prevail despite Chelsea Green interference, but then Rhea Ripley attacks them both after the match. Spin her belt around there. However, Zelina Vega did stand tall in the end ahead of her match with Rhea Ripley at Backlash. Later on, Vega got a pep talk from Santos Escobar backstage. The OC was back in the ring next when they're interrupted by the Viking Raiders and Valhalla, but all three are immediately squashed even without the help of AJ Styles, and the OC stands tall, so I guess they're getting a huge push moving forward. The fourth and final round of the draft brings us HBK and Road Dogg, who I don't have a figure for, as our hosts. Let's place him on the corner of the couch here like we did with Triple H. And the first pick of this round was surprisingly the entire group of Damage Control. That's Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. I say surprisingly because it's been rumored that they're going to be breaking up, and there's been a lot of hints of that on TV recently, but I guess for now they're staying together and all going to Smackdown. Okay, I just now realized why there's so many more figures in the Smackdown bin than the Raw bin. It's because I missed Raw's first pick of the second round, which was Imperium. So we'll move Gunther and his Intercontinental belt here. That does, of course, also include Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, who I don't have figures for because they haven't made them yet. Now back to round 4. They strategically had HBK as one of the presenters because he's in charge of NXT right now, and it was announced that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the current NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, have been drafted to SmackDown. Cameras were down at the Performance Center where the champs were immediately confronted by Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. They'll have a match this Tuesday on NXT, but things only got worse for HBK as the women's champion, Indy Hartwell, also got drafted, but to Raw. Now what's interesting about this is Indy Hartwell is not only the current champ, but she's injured. So I'm not exactly sure how they're going to get the belt off her. It might just have to be vacated. Either way, Sean's entire women's division down there in NXT has been basically destroyed at this point, and it'll be interesting to see how he rebuilds it. Back to the show as Karrion Kross attacked Shinsuke Nakamura during an interview backstage. And then we had our main event, an undisputed tag team title match between KO and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Despite interference by Solo Sikoa, the champs retained, and I would hate to be the Usos going into Monday night when they have to face the Tribal Chief. Overall, a pretty decent episode of the show, and I thought the draft moved along really well this year. I'll be back with another video for night 2, so stay tuned for that. And if you liked this video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my latest video, it should be somewhere on screen now, but until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.